first.
Testing 1 2 on the new channel. First time ever on the new channel. How you guys out there
I
doing?
gotta put moderator again, HD. Oh, it's that my stomach.
On the mic.
On the mic. Baby, what's it? What
Yes. Let's do this. Mic's on. Mic check.
Ding 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 ding.
It goes. How sound goes there. Hey guys, this is Bruce.
And this is me, Yuri.
And welcome to our new channel here, where we're gonna focus entirely on K-1 and other extremely boring visa type stuff.
I'm kind of like, yeah. The kids said we're boring, so I don't know how we can spice this up.
People don't want spice; they want facts. So let's just stick with the facts here. So today we're going to be talking about K-2 and everything you need to know. K-2, if you didn't know, is when your foreign fiance is trying to bring their kids over with them as they come to the United States. And we're talking specifically about the K-1 Fiance Visa. And now in the future, we hope to talk about other visa processes, like we could probably talk about tourist visas and green card issues and adjustment of status and everything else. But for now, we're talking about K-1 Fiance Visa, which is something Yuri and I know a lot about now. We know a lot about it, but we're not lawyers. We're not immigration lawyers. We're not authorized consultants. You're supposed to be an authorized consultant to tell people about this. This is our opinion. This is based on our experience going through the process. And this is a conversation more than anything else. So the slide you're about to see is a breakdown of all the information we gathered from the government sites, from our own experience, and from other people's input into this. So that's what we're going to talk about. Now, before we get started, we do have a book about this out. It's on Amazon right now. We've got other products coming out that we're going to put out to you guys that we can kind of give more value and a deeper, like more quality version than what we normally do, and that we can maintain it on a regular basis. And so that's why we have a book out that's coming out. Actually, it's already out if you want to check it out on Amazon. It's called
Type Fiance Visa, and then it will take you to...
We'll be the #1 hit if you go to Amazon, type in Visa approved or Fiance to USA. That's us. So, and I have Yuri's face on it, so can't miss it.
Yeah, you can't miss it. It has my...
Yeah, but we have other things coming out. We have an audio book. I know a lot of people are drivers and stuff. They can't really read on the road, so we got an audio book coming out. We're working on right now. Got video stuff that walks you through it, a tutorial that we're going to maintain on a regular basis, and other things too that we've been talking about that we're working on in the background. And that's why we're not able to do as many videos as we have been in the future. In the past, rather.
Yeah, we have a course coming out soon. About July, we should be able to release it.
Yep. So let's get started on this walkthrough. Let me make sure that you guys can see this. Let's switch it over here. I think this one's better adjusted. There we go. All right. So first of all, K-2, I think we already talked about what that is. This is going to pertain to some of you guys. And what we'll do is we'll walk through these slides, only about 9 slides. It kind of breaks down all the information down. And then we'll open the floor up to questions. Anybody have any questions or anything like that, we'll answer. All right, let's do it. So who does the K-2 apply to? Who it applies to is the children of foreign fiancés. This is unmarried children that are under the age of 21, right? So it all allows you to bring the kids of the foreign fiancé to the United States, and you can do that within a year's time.
After the foreign fiancé gets approved in the U.S. Embassy interview, then the parent has 1 year to bring the K-2 child to the United States.
Right. And our walkthrough and the video course that we have that's coming out, it actually walks you through every step that includes the K-2 and like actually handholds you, like holds your hand and shows here's what you have to do, like in the actual package itself. This is just an overview of everything that you're supposed to do.
It's just like our videos actually, but more, the quality is way higher.
Right, and there's way more information that we couldn't put on YouTube because they don't allow you to put as much text and things like that. So, and there's downloadable material such as templates and stuff that, another thing that you can't do on YouTube. So, one thing who it doesn't apply to, the K-2 doesn't apply to if you have a biological child with a foreign fiancé. In other words, your foreign fiancé and you, U.S. petitioner, have a child that's born in another country, you can actually just have the child become a U.S. citizen.
Yeah, U.S. petitioner means a U.S. citizen, and then when you have a child abroad, you don't have to do a K-2 visa because your kid is automatically a U.S. citizen. You just have to apply for it at the U.S. Embassy.
Right. So if the U.S. petitioner and the foreign fiancé have a biological child born in the foreign fiancé's country, the parents may apply for the child's U.S. citizenship by applying for a consular report of birth abroad, CRBA, to document that the child is a U.S. citizen. So, and if that's the case, of course, you don't have to do a K-2 for the child because the child is then a U.S. citizen. Okay, so let's keep going here. It's just something that keeps coming up, so we thought we would put that in the presentation. So this is actually one of the first steps of the K-2 process, and that's you have to list the children, and if there's more than one, you got to list all of them on the I129F form. So, and if you didn't know, I-129F is the petition for the foreign fiancé to come to the United States and get married so that you guys can get married within 90 days.
Also, when you say beneficiary, that means foreign fiancé. When you say petitioner, that means the U.S. citizen or naturalized citizen.
Right. And so you only need to file this one time for the foreign fiancé and the children. If they have 5 kids, you only do one I-129F and you only make one payment for the filing fee of the I-129F. There are other fees, but they come later in the process. Now, if there's multiple kids, you would actually put them on a separate sheet of paper, and you just annotate on the top that this is this corresponds to section. This will actually be part 2 of the form, and then you'd say item 40A, like it says on the screen there.
Yeah, the form shown on the screen is I-129F form. And this is the section for the children, and there's only one kid that you can put in the 40.A. So if you have more than one child, then you have to write the names and the information of your kids in a separate sheet of paper.
Yep. Okay, let's keep going. DS-160 non-immigrant visa application. So when you're going through this process, in the next phase of this process, we call it step 3, where the foreign fiancé has to actually start doing lots of work. One of the things that the foreign fiancé has to do is fill out a non-immigrant visa application that's online that registers them with the Department of State. And so you have to do this DS-160 for each child that's going to be coming to the United States.
Yes.
So Let's see, and then they have to get a confirmation page at the end of that process for each child. All right, so now we get into some of the fees. The visa application fee for each. So you're gonna have a visa application fee for every single child that's coming to the United States, including, of course, including the foreign fiance. And that application fee at the time of this recording is $265. Okay, let's keep going here. Now, I'm going to list some of the things that you have to do to prepare for the embassy for the K-2. And that's one of the first things. We already mentioned I129F. You have to put them on the I129F in the applicable spot. Mm-hmm. And then you have to... Go ahead.
Yeah. And then once you receive the letter from the USCIS... no, not from the USCIS. Once you receive the letter from the National Visa Center containing your visa case number, then that's when you proceed into getting a schedule for a U.S. Embassy interview.
Yep, and so another thing you have to do is the I-134 affidavit of support. You have to list the children on there. And then you have to make sure you have the child's birth certificate. I would have multiple copies because once the child comes to the United States, they have to go to school here. They ask for birth certificates. So you probably want to have multiple copies. Like, you want to have way more than you need, just in case, you know. Mm-hmm. DS-160, we already talked about that. You have to have a confirmation page for each child, which means you got to go through the DS-160 for each child. You have to pay the visa application fee for each child. You have to schedule an interview for each child, and the child in that interview can be with the parent. Even if there's 3-4 kids, they can all be with the parents when they go through the visa interview. The children have to have up-to-date passports and passport-style photos. And another thing they have to do is they're going to have to all go through a medical examination. And the medical examination, you'll have to pay a fee for each child as they go through that. One thing that actually somebody mentioned to us that was really important that I'd never thought about was if there's another legal guardian of the child, you have to make sure that the child is authorized to leave the country. And so in a lot of countries, most countries, you have to get some sort of authorization from the other parent. Now, if the parent's never been around, they're just not... They haven't been around for the kid's entire life, then that might not be something you have to really worry about. But if this parent's an active part of their life, you have to get some authorization to actually leave the country, and that's something that the foreign fiance has to look into the laws of their own country to figure out what documents do I need so that I can take my child out of the country, even though that the child's their biological father or mother is still going to be in country. All right, let's keep going.
Yeah, and for the Philippines, as an example, if the father or the mother of the kid is not active in the kid's life, then you don't have to get the permission of the father. You don't have to request for their signature in a letter, but you have to go to Department of Social Welfare and Development, is DSWD, to get a letter saying that you are taking your kid, you're bringing your kid abroad.
Okay, let's keep going on the slides. There's not much, shouldn't be anything much left here. Medical exam, and I mentioned this in the last on the last slide, but medical exam fee for each child. So now this one is a little bit tricky to write about. Like, as we're going through our course, every country is different. So the best thing we can do is cite a few countries and then explain what's going on with it, because every single country has a different fee. They have a different processing, method of processing. But one thing they all have in common is that there is a fee, and all the medical facilities and physicians that you go to, they all have to be through a U.S. immigration authorized medical examination. So it's best that you go through the U.S. Embassy, and they'll tell you exactly what physicians are authorized or what facilities are authorized to go through. And they'll also tell you what procedures and what information that you need for each child. So that's another thing to consider. There will be a fee for each child, by the way. Double check those requirements. Okay, and since this is the last slide here, and it's just every single beneficiary has to go through the embassy. So that's every child that's coming to the United States has to go to the U.S. Embassy for the interview, right? So just make sure, double check everything that they have, they need before you go there. And that's about it. Was there anything else we should add about K-2?
The website of where to check the medical exam.
The website of where to check the medical. Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that next. We'll show that on the screen here.
K-2 can come to the U.S. later. Yeah.
Within a year.
And also, if you cannot bring, maybe some financial reason, or you can't provide a stability for your kid yet, and you're not able to bring your child to the United States within that 1 year, after you as a foreign fiance get approved for your K-1 visa, you can still petition your kid in a different visa called immediate relative, I-130, to bring your kid. And that is also a quick process. It's less than a year.
Actually, in order to do that, don't you have to wait till you're a citizen? So that means it takes 3 to 5 years.
No.
Because you have to. The only way that you can request for relatives to come to the United States is you have to be a naturalized citizen. So that means that you'd have to be in the United States for 3 years,
True.
at least 3 to 5 years. So that's actually not a fast process. It's going to take a long time.
Yeah, but what I mean is some parents just don't have the money to bring their kid.
You have an alternative
in that 1 year period, because some parents are still adjusting to the United States and getting a job,
right.
And they want to secure their child's future and making sure that they are stable.
And that's understandable. All right, let's see who's on here. I'm just checking who all is on here. Let's see. We've got a few people here. We got 7 people watching. That's great for a new channel. We got Dan the Driving Man. How you doing, man? We've got HT Logistics. How you doing? Michael, how you doing? We've got let's see, KP55 here. We've got who else is here? Give us a thumbs up, guys, if you can hear our audio. Thumbs up if you can hear the audio. I saw somebody complaining about the audio. Says hello from the Philippines. Jay Jones, how you doing? Instigator, how you doing? Smash that like button. Hit that
that's
bell.
an interesting question. Hi, Instigator and Michael.
Okay, what's the question?
Instigator said, why does the child needs to... I don't see anymore.
Oh, whoops, sorry. Messing around with stuff. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, yeah, sorry about that. There we go.
Why does the child that is under the age of 18 have to go to the interview? Can the child say anything that could stop the visa? No. So if the interview is really for the foreign fiance.
True.
The kids just have to go to the U.S. Embassy. They don't really have an interview. Like, it's more of them going to the embassy to get their photograph and biometrics.
Do you do biometrics when you're at the embassy?
Yes.
The first time? Oh yeah, and you also have to turn in the visa style or passport style photos of the kids there as well, right?
So yeah, they take photos and the biometrics. So
right.
That's why, but they don't really do an interview for the young kids because they don't know much about what's happening.
True. All right, let's see if there's anything over on the Facebook side. And see a lot of people on Facebook. We'll check anyway. We've got Grace. Grace says thumbs up. Thanks, Grace. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Grace.
And nothing going on over there. No questions. This is a great opportunity, guys, to ask any questions, because you're not just asking us, you're asking our whole community. And we have access to hundreds of people. So they're going to see this question. And your question might actually help someone else who has the same question. So it's a really great opportunity to ask any questions. Let's see. Jay Jones says, I have 2 questions. Does my fiance have to get a NBI clearance or a barangay clearance or both? It's a Yuri question right there.
Well, I have 2 questions. Does my fiance have to get NBI clearance? NBI clearance, yeah.
NBI clearance. Not, what's this barangay clearance? You didn't have to do that.
Barangay, that's a local clearance now. That's not what you need. NBI clearance. Or is there a form she needs to complete to prove? And then when she gets
never been married. Yes, there is one.
When she requests for NBI clearance, they ask for identification anyway. So, and they also ask, what's the purpose of getting the NBI clearance? And you can say for travel.
Yeah. And that, for those of you guys who are not from the Philippines, the NBI is just a police clearance that everybody actually needs a police clearance from their home country. Their foreign fiance will need a police clearance to go to. That's part of the process of going to the embassy.
Yeah, and also to prove that she's never been married,
for the second question,
she has to get a certificate of no marriage that is available in PSA, Philippine Statistics. She can request for that online and pay online if she has a card, or she can pay it at the bank and order it online, or she can request in person to get it.
Instigator says it's just going to cost a lot because my fiance is having her interview in Hong Kong. I have to fly her son and her mom into Hong Kong, go to the interview, and go and back to Philippines. Why would the mom have to go? Is that just like for emotional support, or
No.
the son and the mom, which is his fiance? Oh, okay.
The grandma.
Really?
The grandma has to go with her son.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that will cost a lot of money. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe Instigator's foreign fiance is still on a contract. So when they're in a contract, if they break their contract, they have to pay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's brutal.
Yeah, that's going to cost a lot. I mean, I wonder if the son could do the interview. This is something that Instigator, this is something you probably have to ask the embassy. I mean, I don't know. I'm just kind of asking, thinking out loud here. But I wonder if the son could do the his part of the interview in the Philippines at the embassy in Manila. That's something you would really have to call the embassy in Hong Kong. Yes, on contract till February 2019. Yeah, so if I were you, Instigator, just to exhaust all of the possible options, I would contact the Manila embassy and ask them, tell them the situation, if you can get a hold of a staffer there, and say, hey, would it be okay if I had him go here instead of in Hong Kong? Just ask, what doesn't hurt to ask. Worst they could say is no, and then you still have to pay to have them fly to Hong Kong. So.
Yeah, because if the kid has 1 year anyway, then it might be possible to get the interview in the Philippines.
Maybe, never hurts to ask. Michael says
just call Instigator.
Middle last name. He said his parents died at a young age. At his papers, he said he is messy. Is a mess, and the Lord said, okay, I don't know. I'm kind of coming in.
Okay, we need more of it, Michael.
I'm coming in the middle of that conversation, Michael. I don't know what. Okay,
middle last name. He said his parents died at a young age. We need more.
I need more context on that one.
Yeah.
I don't,
Information about.
Is it maybe I'm kind of scrolling up to see if there's anything else, and nope, I don't see anything.
J. Jones.
Says I have 2 questions. We already read that one.
Okay.
Magandang umaga. Good evening.
Hello from the Filipino nama. Who do I call?
Who do I call? Manila or
U.S. Embassy, Manila.
I would call Manila first, and Manila might tell you, hey, you need to call Hong Kong. They're processing the case. But, I'm thinking to myself, they haven't worked for the government a long time. Normally, they have access to the same information. We're right by a base, so that's why.
Oh gosh.
I'm sure you guys can hear that. So, normally, the government has very tight. They share the same databases. They say they're very good at sharing information in the same agency or the same department. So they should have access to the case. You know what I mean? So when you call the Manila embassy, what you want to do, probably what I would do, instigator, is I would have the case number ready, right? And I'd say, listen, this is my case number. My wife is going through. She's a Filipino citizen. She's currently in Hong Kong, working abroad. We have an interview coming up. I want to know if I can send this my son-in-law to the embassy in Manila instead of Hong Kong. Just what doesn't hurt to ask, unless your guys' plan is to have them stay there and then they fly out together or something like that. I don't know. I personally would ask because it doesn't hurt to ask.
Yeah, call a U.S. Embassy, Manila.
Right, and if they're like, nope, sorry, we have to get permission from HongOng, then they'll contact them with you, or maybe you never know. They might be able to work something out with you. Let's see. Michael says papers are messed up and middle name is wrong, and his lawyer, whose lawyer? His lawyers are bad. His parents died, and you're saying the same thing, Michael. Papers are messed
So
up.
is he in the Philippines, Michael?
Who? Is this I'm assuming that's the fiance? I don't know. I don't know, Michael. I don't know.
Who do you mean? Is the person a U.S. citizen, but his papers are messed up? Anyway, HT said.
Oh, go ahead.
HT said, what is the dollar amount you need to bring a woman over on any visa? The minimum you need to bring a woman over on any visa. Wait, why does it keep repeating the minimum?
What? Wait, which one are you reading?
Is it because he's driving?
Man, just be careful. Don't type and drive, HT. Don't type and drive. Just be careful, man. Use text to speech or something.
It's about, I would say,
$50
no,
to $1?
$2,000 to $4,000 on any type of visa. Oh wait, if it's a tourist visa, it's cheaper, because tourist is only $150, and then you appear for the interview, and then you wait for them to decide if you approve or not.
Okay.
I mean, you appear for the interview, and so yeah. But for other visa that are like immigrant visa, it's about, maybe I would say, $2,000 to $4,000.
Michael, the middle name is messed up on which papers? You mean I've heard of that happening with the birth certificate, which is a real pain. I've heard of that happening more than once. One person I know got denied because of that. Their birth certificate was fake, but it came from the government, so they got denied. Remember that one? The guy from Thailand?
I remember that.
That was ridiculous. And then another one was somebody had the wrong information on their birth certificate, and they had to stay there for Dean. His wife's wife, she had the wrong information on her birth certificate, and then that added like another 2 months on their process, because they had to redo the birth certificate or something, and then had to resubmit it, had to go to another interview. I mean, like, added maybe 3 months on their whole process.
If papers are messed up, then he has to go to PSA and get
Said
it
she has a lawyer.
corrected for them to correct it. But if it's a more complicated one, then he's just gotta hire a good lawyer. Then that's the only choice.
That sucks. That sucks. All right, let me see if there's anything.
Mike HT said,
Book.
I'm talking about how much you make in salary. What is the minimum they want for for a household of 2? How much was it, baby? Wasn't it under 17,000?
It depends. What I'll do is I'll show the poverty guideline real quick. Poverty guideline. You can do this yourself. I'm going to show you guys the link to this. Poverty guidelines. Morris Del Caribe, how you doing? How you doing, man? Let me show you guys the poverty guideline here real quick, and we'll address this question. Here's the site right here. Hope you can see that. But it's at ASPE. In fact, I'll just give you, let me just see if I can give you the link below here. Let's see if I can put the link in there. Kind of got some new, I got to get used to this new setup I got going on here, guys. So just bear with me. But I'm going to put the link here. They don't normally let you put links. So what I'm going to do is get rid of all the dots. But there it is right there. That's it. I put it there.
Just put dot in the middle of each. Instead of space, put dot.
But here's the poverty guideline. Here's what it looks like. It depends, HT, on how many people are in your household, and it depends on what state. So those are 2 big factors. So for example, in this first portion here, this is dealing with the first 48 contiguous states. That's everything, 48 states that exclude Alaska and Hawaii, which have a different poverty guideline because it's more expensive to live in those 2 places. But let's say you had just you and your fiance are going to be living together, then you only have to make $16,000 as of 2018. Right? This goes up or down depending on the year. But if it's just you and your foreign fiance or wife, your future wife, then it's just going to be $16,460. But if it's you, your spouse, foreign fiance, foreign spouse, and her daughter or son, so it's going to be a total of 3 people, then you got to make $20,000. Now let's say in some cases, like my case, I have 2 kids already who live with me, and if I was having Yuri come here, that would be a total of 4 people. So I would go by this one. 25,000 is what I have to make. I have to make at least 25,000 or more. And then what happens is when you get her to the United States, or them, the kids and your foreign fiance, to the United States, then you have a different poverty guideline level, which is 125% of the poverty guideline. So that would be a little bit, 25% more is what you have to make. And some people are kind of shocked by that, but it's actually not that bad if you think about it, because they actually calculate not only your income, but also your assets.
Savings.
Your savings, your assets, like if you have stocks, bonds, all that stuff counts. What's going on with you? I couldn't get on. Hey, Steve.
Oh, because we changed the channel.
Yeah, we're on a different channel, Steve. We're currently on. We're gonna start putting everything on Visa approved channel, and I'll send you a link to it right now.
So this one doesn't have a super chat?
No, baby, it doesn't.
Ah.
You didn't think about that, did you?
That is horrible.
Eugene Harris says, I don't know if you guys can see what I'm
first.
typing. Yes, Eugene, we can. Let's see. If you guys on Facebook, you guys can ask any questions you want. We do this once a week on our Visa approved channel, and also here. This is a great opportunity to ask any questions you want. It's open forum. So please ask questions. Ask away. You're not just asking us. And by the way, we're not immigration lawyers. We're just normal people like you guys. We're not authorized immigration consultants. We're just normal people who went through this process a few years ago. We're facilitating the conversation. You want to be a part of this conversation? Feel free to ask any question. Your question is going to be seen by hundreds of other people. So it's a great opportunity to help other people out. Okay, let's go back to the main questions. Not getting any questions over there on Facebook. Let's go back to YouTube. Yuri, what's your super chat?
Yeah, he said, oh, Yuri wants a super chat. Because somebody asked it, hey, where's the super chat? I'm like,
yeah, if you still want to super chat us, we do have a PayPal link that we'll put in the description below. You can do that anytime you want. So
I just noticed, like, I'm like, oh, this looks different.
Yeah, it's a little bit different.
Like the setup looks different.
Yeah, we'll fix that. But this is a new channel, so you can't do that. Cohen Mikey says, thank you for your info that you gave. Yeah, no problem, Mike.
That's the case. I want to file my visa soon. Yeah, I mean, HT, you're so past the poverty guidelines. My gosh.
Yeah.
1,000.
1,000 what?
Subscribers.
You gotta have 1,000 subscribers.
Lot.
And then you have to have 40,000 views.
Okay, that means we have to build this first before we start doing live in this one.
90-day fiance TLC is heating up. Looks like the Thai girl isn't happy. I don't watch that anymore. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap this up.
The Thai girl isn't
Thank you guys for your questions. Really appreciate it.
Watch it.
We're gonna be back on this channel next week. This is where we're gonna start doing our visa stuff. So make sure you tune in next week at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. See you guys later.
Thank you so much, HT Logistics, and
if
the people who has joined our live in this other channel, but I think we have to go back on the other one.
Yeah. What? I told you.
Let's just see.
Oh man, what is going on? Now you're flipping
no,
back.
Just like 1,000. That's a lot.
It is. Yes, it is.
I didn't think about that.
It's gonna take a while, even with our base that we already have. All right, guys. See you later.